Hey folks, Nick here from another BookTube channel, and today I'll be doing a ranking of the complete Cosmere. It is currently April 2023, so this list is going to include every Cosmere novel, novella, or short story that Brandon Sanderson has published up to this point. The most recent book is Tress of the Emerald Sea. Just to put this in some timeline context here, I've got one of these tier maker things that I created, which really quickly, you have to have a Twitter account before you're allowed to make one of these. So that's annoying, but I made a Twitter. I'm not even going to tell you what the name is because I don't plan on ever using it because Twitter is garbage. But anyway, yeah, so I've got every single Sanderson Cosmere work here. We're going to go through it in order of publication date. And we'll just see how this shapes out. So let's get into it. All right. Okay, so we are starting off with Elantris. So this is Sanderson's first novel. It does definitely read like a first novel. It's not his best, but it also has some really good stuff in it. A lot of the... I like the world that he created here. And even though the magic system didn't super impress me when I first read it, it has come up a bit more in recent books, and I do kind of like it in those contexts. So I'm gonna put this just solidly on B. I think it's a really good starting point on his career. So yeah, we'll put that on B right now. Mistborn: The Final Empire, the book that really kind of put him on the map, I think. I really enjoyed the first Mistborn book. I didn't love it. I started off loving it, and then it kind of evened out for me. But nevertheless, I do think I'm going to put it in A because of just the impact of it. And I do really like the world that's created in there. I really like Kelsier. I think Vin's a good character. So I think A is probably a pretty good spot for Mistborn. This is a short story, The Hope of Elantris. What do I want to do with this one? This is, again, it's a good short story. I like that world of Elantris a little bit, and I think this was just an extra little bit that added a little bit of extra flavor, extra drama to that world. I think I'll just put it in B. I don't know that I have a ton to say about it, but I think B is probably a good spot for that below the main novel. Well of Ascension. Okay, so this is where we're gonna start to see some lower grades because I did not care for Well of Ascension. I actually almost DNF'd Well of Ascension. It was not an enjoyable book to me at all. It pulled itself together at the end. It had a pretty good ending, but I didn't have a great ride with it. It was a little too just boring political stuff, and it didn't deliver what I wanted following the first book. I'm going to put this in C. Maybe on a reread, I would enjoy it more. But Elend is a character that I think is so boring. And there's a lot of Elend in Well of Ascension. And there's a lot of Elend in Hero of Ages, which is the next book here. Which I liked more than Well of Ascension. I thought it was a bit more consistent. I don't know that I loved it. And I thought the ending was fine. Maybe a bit confusing. Again, maybe it's because I read these kind of early on in my Cosmere experience, so I wasn't as practiced in the lore, but I thought it was just okay. But yeah, I'm going to put Hero of Ages at B in between the two Elantris stories. Warbreaker is next, and I loved Warbreaker. Warbreaker was the first Sanderson book that I actually really loved. And it is, I think it remains to this day, one of my favorite of his books, and I'm going to put it in S. I think that might be controversial, but I really enjoy Warbreaker. I think it's fantastic. I love the characters. I love all the characters. I love the whole thing with the gods, the ridiculous gods. The magic system is great with the way it affects colors and the breathing life into inanimate objects. It's so cool. And of course, there's Nightblood, the sword, who is just a great character. So I'm putting Warbreaker in S. I don't care. I think it's great. The Way of Kings, Stormlight Archive. Number one, this, I mean, it was a really good start to the Stormlight Archive. I remember when I was first reading it being a little impatient, kind of like, where is this going? Like, what's going to happen? What's the point of all of this? I think now, if I were to read this again, I wouldn't have that issue. But I thought it was still a fantastic book, even on the first read through. I'm going to put it in A, the top of A. I think it's great. Alloy of Law. The Alloy of Law, the first Wax and Wayne book. Controversial opinion here. I love the Wax and Wayne series. I like it a lot more than Era 1. And I think Wax and Wayne as characters are so much fun. And this book, I know it's regarded as kind of lesser. It's pretty short by Sanderson standards. And it doesn't have a ton... Like, it doesn't have that extreme world building that people really love from his work. The story's a pretty fun, just detective story, but not much more than that. But I really dug that. I liked that it was just a detective story. It kind of it literally just reads like steampunk Sherlock Holmes. And I thought that was great. I thought that was a lot of fun. I'm actually going to put it in A, because I really had a great time reading Alloy of Law. And I don't care who knows it. Back to Mistborn. This is... the title's cut off here, but this is the 11th Metal. This is a short story featuring Kelsier, who is the best character from Mistborn Era 1. I enjoyed this one quite a bit. And I always love to be able to see more of Kelsier, because, I mean, we don't get a lot of Kelsier after book 1, which is unfortunate. So anytime we get to revisit him, I like to see that. I'm going to put it at the top of B. I think it's pretty good. I like getting that extra look at him, but it's not like amazing or anything. Emperor's Soul, however, is fabulous. Emperor's Soul is fantastic. I love Shy. I love that we saw her kind of surprise us and pop up, make an appearance in a recent book. So really, really cool. This is another great magic system. He just churns out magic systems, man. I really should just do a tier listing of the magic systems he's created, because I think that could be kind of fun, actually. I think I might do that. But Emperor's Soul, using stamps to rewrite the history of the stamped item or person, to give them a new personality. What a cool idea. Shy's a great character. I love this one a lot. I'm putting it in A, above the Mistborn books that are in there right now. I thought that was awesome. Another short story. This one is Shadows for Silence in the Forests of Hell. This is another really cool one. This was kind of almost a horror story, which I really liked. This is on the planet Threnody. What was the main character's name in this one? I can't remember for some reason. Silence. Silence. Silence was the character's name. She was awesome. And I really like this world that's like inhabited by ghosts. Really cool atmosphere in this one. I dug this one quite a bit. I'm kind of between A and B, because the atmosphere in the world is an A for me. I'm wondering if the story was good enough to be more than a B. I'm going to put it maybe at top of B right now. Maybe I'll reassess that. We'll see. Words of Radiance, Stormlight Archive, Book 2. This one's going top of S. This is I think the best book that Sanderson's ever written. I think it's absolutely phenomenal. It delivers so much on just the promises of the Way of Kings, the characters, the way that they develop and grow in this book. Oh, it's just fabulous. It is so great. For over 1,300 pages, it reads like a dream. I don't know that Sanderson's ever going to be able to top Words of Radiance, honestly. It is so spectacular. Sixth of the Dusk. Another short story that I read in Arcanum Unbounded. This one's a pretty interesting one. I like it's a unique magic system, because the magic doesn't affect the users. It's like there's worms on the planet, if I remember correctly. Like, there's worms on the planet that are magical, and when they're eaten by birds, the birds gain the magic ability, and they're able to project images into people. I might be completely butchering that. It's been a minute since I've read it, but I remember thinking it was a super fun story. And I really enjoyed the way he worked that magic system and made it interesting. So this one's, again, I think this one might be... Do I like this one more than Shadows for Silence? Maybe. I think I might put this bottom of A. Yeah. Or that bottom of A. Another short, Alamancer Jack and the Pits of Eltania. This one was okay. I don't remember much about it. I think it was just okay. I'm actually just going to put this at the bottom of C. Like, it's fine. It's not my favorite Mistborn stuff. It just kind of exists. It's kind of neat, but it doesn't really affect anything in the world. And it just, I don't know. I feel like I could easily skip this one if I ever did a reread and not miss anything. Shadows of Self, the second Wax and Wayne book. It doesn't stand out to me as much as Alloy of Law, but it's also not terrible. I think I might put this one just solidly within B. Although I do like, in Shadows of Self, we get to meet, we get to spend a lot more time with, oh my god, why am I blanking on her name? Steris! You get to meet a lot more of Steris in this book, and I think Steris is a fantastic character. So I think that's the main thing that stands out to me is Steris in Shadows of Self. She was awesome. The story, I think I would say it's pretty forgettable because I honestly don't remember much of what happened in it. But I like it a lot because of getting to know more of Steris. Same goes for Bands of Mourning. I thought this was pretty good. I don't know that it hits A for me. Actually, it might. It would have been a pretty okay ending. I'm thinking of it when I read it, I didn't realize there was going to be a fourth Mistborn Era 2 book. And I thought, like, okay, pretty solid ending. Maybe I'll put it just above here. I'll put it at the top of B. Because as an ending, it would have been kind of a little unsatisfying. But it was a really good book overall. Mistborn's Secret History. This is really solid. This one I enjoyed more than 11th Metal. I think I enjoyed it more than... I definitely enjoyed it more than the other two books in that series, Hero of Ages and Well of Ascension. Not as much... Didn't like it as much as Mistborn, though. But really important book. I think this one... this is one of those that you can't skip. If you wanted to do a reread for that. I'm going to put it, again, I guess also solidly in B. Edge Dancer. This is a novella featuring Lift from Starlight Archive. I go back and forth on Lift, whether I think she is really fun or really annoying. This story started off annoying to me because I didn't want to read a full novella about Lift, but by the end it really won me over. I'm going to put it at the bottom of A. I do think that it was a lot of fun, and I'm glad that I did read it because there's some other stuff that comes up later in Stormlight that it's improved if you've read Edge Dancer. So I'm going to put that there. Oathbreaker, also putting this in A. I'm going to put it above. I'm going to put it at the top of A. It's just beneath S for me. I think Oathbreaker, this is where we really get to see a lot of Dalinar's backstory, which is... I mean, wow! What he did is incredible and horrible and just great. So I'm gonna put Oathbringer at the top of A, which brings us to the most recent Stormlight book, Rhythm of War, which I did not really enjoy much at all. I mean, it was good, but boy, was it a slog. Easily the weakest Stormlight book. Not bad enough to be in C, but also, man, I wonder if it's even better than Hero of Ages for me. I would rather reread Hero of Ages right now if you gave me the option. So I'm putting Rhythm of War kind of low on B. It really did not impress me, and I really hope Stormlight 5 gets the series back to what it can be. Dawnshard, just recently read this one. Another really fun world-building story. Gives some other side characters a chance to shine. Ryzen is a really great character. I love that a character with a physical disability got a chance to shine and do some really cool stuff. I'm going to put Dawn Shard in A. Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to put it in A. I'm going to put it right there. Yeah, I'm going to put it right there for now. All right, we're going to go to White Sand now. This is all 3 volumes in one here. So the omnibus came out in 2022. It's why I've got it listed so late here. This is going to be D. I did not like White Sand at all. Pretty okay world, but the characters were boring and unsympathetic. I did not enjoy the artwork at all. I had a lot of huge problems with the layouts and the just the flow of it. I put up a review of it recently. I highly recommend checking that out. I go deep into why the artwork did not work for me. So yeah, White Sand is going to be way at the bottom on D here. Did not like it at all. The Lost Metal, the conclusion of Wax and Wane, really liked this one. This was a great conclusion to me. Bittersweet, really fun, really just the most Cosmere book I think he's written so far, because there's so much that coalesces here that I think this was a fantastic book. I thought it was great. I'm putting it in A, above any other Mistborn book. I think it is my favorite Mistborn book for sure. Putting it below Emperor's Soul because I really like Emperor's Soul. And Tress of the Emerald Sea, the most recent book, the last book to rate here. And this one I was blown away by. This one, what really was impressive was Brandon Sanderson's prose. He's not known for his prose, but he writes really beautifully here. And it's a great entry point into the Cosmere because it's light enough where you don't need to have read other Cosmere books. But also, if you have read other Cosmere books, it enhances it even more. So I'm bouncing between top of A and bottom of S here. And I think I might actually go bottom of S. Specifically because I got the Kickstarter version, which is the nice leather bound with the great illustrations. As a whole package, I thought Tress was fantastic. So there we go. Let's see if I want to rearrange any of this stuff. I don't think so. I think Alloy of Law I want to keep where it is in regards to Mistborn. Lost Metal where it is. Yeah. I don't feel like I want to move anything here. I think I nailed it in one, ladies and gentlemen. I think this is the way I'm going to go. So there we go. This is my Cosmere tier ranking. Let me know what you think about it. Does your ranking agree with mine? How would you arrange yours? Tell me in the comments. Thank you very much for spending some time with me today. But now it's time to get back to reading.